Alrighty, folks. Good afternoon. Good morning. Hope everyone had a fantastic Monday. First day back from the weekend. It is now Tuesday, and we are moving on. Again, make sure all play posits are caught up. From any missing work, make sure you got that as well. All right, so today we're looking at growth of towns and technological improvements. Now, again, when we think of technology, it means something a lot different than what it meant to these people 1,000 years ago. So make sure your bell work is done. Your preview for your bell work is what might this be saying. So on your bell work, if you still have it out, if not, get it out. Write down what you think this is saying. So again, this will go on your bell work. This will not show up in play posit, but you have a guy here. He's got a new idea. Got some something to do with some food increasing, and then we got some money down here. Think back to your vocab. All right, so textbook pages 256, 257. You should have this handout here. What are we going to learn today? Today we'll look at several things that brought Europe out of the Dark Ages. Again, dark meaning bad, Middle Ages. Technological improvements that led to increased food production. Increased food production led to higher population. Increased food production also led to increased trade. So, technological improvements, you will see a creative representation of each improvement. This will be on pages 256 and 257. So, on that handout, where it is at the top here, all right, in the technological improvements, you are sketching each of the improvements. All right, so identify each improvement and explain its purpose on 256 and 257. So go ahead and read over that. If you're not sure what the improvements are, just hold on, and I will get there shortly. But as for right now, you should be reading 256 and 257. All right, so your handout, we have the 4 improvements. Number 1, water and windmill. All right, so, and we'll talk about what each one of these do. The second one is a horse collar. Third one is crop rotation. And fourth is heavy-wheeled iron plow. Now, these, again, may not seem like some extraordinary improvements, but back then, this changed their lives greatly. All right, again, this was under improvements in farming, page 256. So, results of improvement. The used water wind power to grind grain into flour and make more food. So this was the water and windmill. This is able, so today we use wind and water in some instances for power. They used it to grind grain into flour for more food. All right, horse collar used the power of the horse to plow fields. Crop rotation, let one field rest, produce more the next year. So if those of you that farm or those of you that don't farm, basically if you plant certain crops one year and then different crop the next year, this will help the rotation of the crops to make it to where it will not exhaust and take all the nutrients. So you have to know which crops to plant each year, but they did this through experimentation and they were able to get this done to create better soil. All right, and then heavy plow, this was able to plow heavy clay soils. So especially around here, we have a lot of rock and clay in for those of you that live in Kittrell, I remember I tried to grow grass and I was not really growing. I didn't feel like anything in soil. It was more like this mud, clay stuff. This plow was able to dig deep into that so they can plow heavy clay soils. All right, so all of these improvements, again, this is on your handout, led to more food production, and led to increased population. More food production also led to more money for peasants and trading. All right, so I will ask you which one. This will show up on your play posit, which you mentioned allowed for manners to plant in more fields, even if the soil was denser. Which invention allowed grain to be crushed into flour faster at a greater volume? Which invention allowed the soil to rest, therefore giving it a large harvest the following year? And which invention used the power of animals so that more soil could be plowed and more fields planted? Alrighty, so these are the notes that you need today. These will show up in PlayPosit. Increased harvest led to more trade, just writing the red. And again, they'll show up at the one before I'm done talking. Increased trade led to growth of towns. People would meet in a common place to trade goods. Middle class through trade and commerce, peasants earn money to buy their freedom and live on their own. So now you have, remember the feudalism system, you had really, really high people at the top where you had your knights and your nobles and your kings. Now you have, and then your low class at the bottom with serfs. Now you have someone in the middle. All right, and then your merchant class, some people chose to spend money on foreign goods, spices, silks, glass, etc. All right, so what is this saying? Going back to your bell work. New technologies, like the ones we just talked about, led to greater food production. More people and more wealth, especially peasants. Many peasants are now leaving the manor for towns. So then now towns will increase across Europe. And this will happen again in the Industrial Revolution as the technology continues to improve. So think about this today, right? We live in most of us live in Murfreesboro, and Murfreesboro is growing. It has grown tremendously over the last couple of years. Why do you think that? I will show that up. That will show up in a PlayPosit. All right, so people moved to Nashville, Murfreesboro. They moved for industry. They moved for jobs. All right. So I used to teach in a very small community where there weren't a lot of jobs, and I would ask them, where do you want to live once you graduate college or whatever it is that you want to do? And they would say, somewhere in a bigger city, not too big, but somewhere that has more industry, more jobs than this town that I'm living in now. So this has been going on for thousands of years, where you have new technology, new industries coming to be, and now you have people that want to move to towns, want to move to cities for those jobs, for those industries. All right, so that is all for today. Make sure you have the notes completed, and make sure that you have the handout completed as well. All right, if you are finished, just sit quietly and wait for further instruction, and we are good to go.